Good morning, everyone. Today, the three of us, Ariela, Joseph, and I, are going to explain one of the most useful structures in English when talking about the past: modal verbs in perfect form. So, basically, these are phrases like should have gone, could have worked, might have forgotten, must have been tired, and we use them to talk about the past in a deeper, more specific way, not just what happened, but what should have happened, what could have happened, what might have happened, or what must have been true. Today, we're going to explain what modals perfect are and how the structures works, what each modal means, how to use them in real life, and we'll give you some examples, some a little embarrassing that makes everything easier to remember. So, let's start by understanding the basics. Modal perfects always follow the same formula. Modal plus have plus past participle. Example: should have studied, could have called, might have seen, must have left. And we must use them for three things. 1. Regrets, things that were good idea, I should have slept early. 2. Lost opportunity, we could have won the game. 3. Past guests, she must have forgotten her keys. The idea is simple. We look at the past and we analyze with logic, emotions, or imagination. Now, Ariela will explain the meaning of each modal.
Thank you, Naomi. Let's start with the three most common modal perfect, that ones that everyone's using in secret to talk about regret. Okay, first we have should have with past participle. This one is used for advice, criticisms, or regret. It means that something was a good idea but didn't happen. For example, I should have studied earlier, or you shouldn't have said that, we should have left on time. So we use it when we want to sound wise, but only when we made a mistake. Now we talk about could have. This expresses a possibility or an ability in the past, like something that could happen but didn't. For example, I could have won the match. She could have called me. It's basically focused on opportunities that exist but disappear. And now let's talk about would have. This one is for hypothetical situations. It means like I want to, but something stopped me. Some examples it can be I would have gone, but it was raining. Or we would have helped it, but we didn't know. So basically, should have is using for regret. Could have is used for opportunities. And would have is using for an hypothetical. And now Joseph will explain us the detective models. That ones that is used for helping us to guess the past.
Thanks, Ariela. Now, let's talk about the models of deduction, which we use to guess what happened in the past. So, imagine you're a detective. These models are your tools. Well, to understand better, we have some examples here. The first example is she must have been left early, and the other one is he must have been tired. So, it's actually strong, logical, and confident. Well, next we have might have and may have. This is actually like a maybe. This shows like a possibility, but we don't know for sure. Well, we also have some examples for this part. So the first example is he might have forgotten. And the other one is they may have taken the wrong bus. Well, finally we have here can have plus past participle. This shows strong disbelief. So, in this final part, we have some examples. The first example is she can have finished the project already, and they can heard the instructions. So, right now we have to understand that must have, very likely, might and may have, maybe, and can have, impossible. And believe me, we use this every day without noticing.
So, now that we understand each model, let's talk about how we actually use them in daily life. To talk about mistakes, I should have saved more money. We could have avoided the problem. To guess what happened, he must have lost his phone, or she might have misunderstood the message. Or to imagine alternative realities, I would have joined the club, but I didn't have time. To sound more natural, instead of it was possible that I won, we use I could have won. These structures help us communicate more precisely and natural like native speakers. And sometimes they're a little too honest. Like when Joseph says, "You should have told me that assignment was today." Or Ariela says, "You could have helped me carrying the books." Or when I say, "I must have forgotten to set my alarm." Again, these models describe our everyday lives perfectly.
So, perfect models allows us to talk about the past in a smart way. Regrets, guesses, missed opportunities, and hypothetical situations.
They give English more precision. We don't just say what happened. We say what should have, could have, or must have happened.
Exactly, and the more you use them, the more natural your English sounds. Thank you for listening, and hopefully you won't have forgotten all this by the time the test comes.
But if you do, you should have to pay attention.
And we could have repeated, but the presentation is over. Thank you.
Like,
Called, called,
and I know what it is.
I could have won.
Well, to understand.
Could.
More. Oh.
Again.